Hi, today is National Menopause Awareness Day. Now, this is something which never ever used to be spoken about. My parents' generation certainly never spoke about the menopause, and up until very recently, my generation didn't either. It was something which was incredibly taboo, and if people spoke to anyone, it might be their doctor. Even the doctors didn't really understand the menopause. Very often people were just given medication, HRT, or told they needed major surgery like hysterectomies. Why is this important to know and talk about in the workplace? Because over the years, there is an increase of women in the workplace for longer and longer, which means that most workplaces that employ women from the age of about 45 onwards are likely to be employing people who are perimenopausal or menopausal. Also, and this bit often doesn't get spoken about, when a woman is menopausal, the impact on her family and her spouse, or including her spouse, can be huge. So not only does this affect employers who have women in their workplace, but it affects all employers where a male employee perhaps might not be sleeping properly, might be struggling at home because their partner's struggling. It may be that a young person in the workplace is struggling because of the impact of the menopause on home. The range of symptoms that women go through with the menopause is huge. And just because one person has had a really easy journey doesn't mean it's like that for everybody. There can be brain fog, which is the symptom most people talk about, but violent mood swings, complete inability to function in some really severe cases, and there we go. And also the anxiety and the stress going into certain situations, not knowing whether or not you're going to be able to remember your lines, your presentation, what you wanted to say. A lot of women have coping mechanisms, but for some people it's just too much. Are you going to lose all of those women from the workforce? That experience, that knowledge, those skills? Absolutely not. So as an employer, you need to have a strategy that says, we understand that this is a completely natural phenomenon. Most women will go through it at some point, and those women are now likely to be in the workplace. So what do we as employers need to do to support women who are going through the menopause, or the family of women going through the menopause? What do we need to do to retain those people, those skills, and support them? Although the menopause is not a protected characteristic under the Equality Act, depending on the symptoms, it can be classed, so somebody could take a claim under sex discrimination, age discrimination, and in some cases disability discrimination. So just because you know that menopause isn't a protected characteristic, obviously it does affect women of a certain age, and the effects of it can be debilitating. So make sure that you've got policies, procedures, that you've got a culture in which people are able to talk about their concerns, and that you're making reasonable adjustments to enable women to be able to function and continue to be high contributors within your business. If you need help with this, if you need ideas, if you need to understand where you stand, then please reach out. There are loads of resources available, but make sure that you do support the staff and the women in your business. They're skills you really don't want to lose.